they turn white pink, and then they go like that. That makes sense.
Hey loves, welcome to another episode. My name is Snoti, and in this series, I'm going to be talking about my experience as a first-time home buyer in 2022. Just all of the things I learned along the way. Hopefully that could help you if you're starting your journey. We started the process to purchase our home. At first, you obviously don't know what you're doing. You don't know how this works. And so I turned to my favorite educational platform, which is YouTube. Let's just have a little bit of a story time. So I am a big believer in putting out what you want, manifestation. One of my resolutions was to own a home in 2022. I had written down that I would love to be a homeowner by then. And so, among other things that were my goals. So I just wrote that down and I put that out in the universe, and then I just started, going by my business, like pursuing my goals. So we started looking at homes. I expected would be a lot more like, chill, relaxing. Like you go in the store and you see, I don't know, something you want on the shelf, and you're like, I want that one, and you just take it and put it in the cart and you just go and check out. That's how I thought it was gonna be. Hey, I want to buy your house, or hey, I want to buy that house, and they just give it to you, and you just do your signing or whatever it is, transfer the money over to them, and then you just leave. That's just what I thought it was. Later did we know it was gonna be a little bit more intense than that, so to speak.
So before we start touring these homes, I want to give a quick blurb of things to check off your list. The pre-approval process. The following information will be used by the bank or mortgage company for your pre-approval. That's your credit score, if any balances you have on credit cards or loans. Federal interest rate. For those who don't know, it's the rate set by the Federal Open Market Committee, the FOMC, to guide lending among U.S. banks. Basically, this is also the rate at which the banks lend you money. Next, your income, and next, down payment for your home. Also, they'd like to know like the type of homes you're looking into, so like single family home, condo, etc.
So one of the downsides when we were looking for a house was the fact that the market right now is very, very, very competitive. It's like there are a lot more people trying to buy a home and there are less homes available. And so because of that, there's high competition on the market. You see a house that is listed 50K over what it should be listed at, or even 100K over what it should be listed at. There are investors buying homes, and so obviously they have more capital to invest. You have to compete with that, and then you have to compete with, people are just exhausted at this point. They don't care anymore about how much it costs. They just want to get a house. People will still bid over the asking price, even though the asking price is already high up there.
So this house itself is 3 beds, 2 baths, split level, 2-car garage. The inside didn't have anything that stood out to me personally, but we can always make a space what we want it to be. What we really liked was the backyard. I thought it was nice for entertainment, and the house is located in a nice neighborhood. So this house was priced in a way that would create a bidding war, so just below its market value compared to other homes in the neighborhood. We did place an offer $30,000 over the asking price. Once an offer is placed, the seller has 48 hours to respond with a decision. And in this case, the seller was looking for another home, so closing date was contingent upon when the seller found a home, which we were fine with. Then they came back and said, okay, so the seller found a home, now they want to close in 3 weeks. So again, we were fine with that. We're like, okay, it is what it is. But we didn't end up getting the house because someone offered 50K over asking price.
There are also times that we found homes that we liked and wanted to go see, and right before our agent would schedule a showing with us, that house would have been purchased off the market, or like before a house even hit the market, somebody purchased it. For me personally, I would never buy a house without seeing it physically. So there was this house that we liked. Well, actually, I'll say this. I'll confess. There was this house that I liked. Gina didn't like it as much. For some reason, I started to develop a likeness to sunrooms. It had a sunroom. And so before we went to see it though, there was an offer placed on it before it even came on the market. and so they were no longer accepting tours. Okay, fine. I was disappointed because I really liked the place, really big backyard, and it looked really spacious. So I really wanted that house, and I was kind of like down that we kind of lost on it. So several weeks later, I was just looking again, looking at homes and stuff, and that same house had gotten back on the market because for whatever reason it fell out of contract, and so it was back on the market. So then we went and asked our agent to schedule a tour, and we went to see the home. And when I tell you this house was small, it was small. The sunroom was like so small, I could stretch my hand from one wall to the next. It was so small, but the picture made it look so huge, and it was like, shout out to the photographer because it was selling. So after finding that out, when I think about it, I think the first buyer who had made an offer on the home, they hadn't seen the house obviously. And I think, you know, that's when people get into that like you're so exhausted with looking at this point, you just want a house. I think they were at that point, that breaking point of the home buyer process, because there is a time when you looked at homes so much that you're just like, just give me one, I don't care anymore, like I'm just tired, I just want a house, I just want a house. So like, just keep that in mind, like don't give up, please, like you're almost there. But I think that's probably where the previous buyers got to for that house and put in an offer without going to see the house. And after we had the opportunity to go see it, once it was back on the market, we realized, yeah, why they did not want the house anymore, because for the price that it was listed at, like just an abuse of like buyers in the market, like, you know, chill out, bruh. So that's just an example. I just want you guys to know, like if you want a house, I recommend, strongly recommend that you go to see the house physically. Condo physically, townhome physically, whatever you're looking at, I recommend that you go see that property physically, be there in person, get a feel of it, because I promise you, images can be deceiving.
This house was given very much Titanic, like old money. It's given the owners really love the look of wallpaper and like flower prints. The home belonged to an older couple. It's a single owner home built in 1964, 3 beds, 2 baths, split level again. It had lots of wallpaper and like tiles in the bathrooms. So we knew it would be a lot of work. So you can see they still got their old TV out in the kitchen. But let me show you something. So this was the grand reveal we never expected, right from the window of the kitchen. This was apparently an add-on to the house, but this caught our attention. They also had a custom built kitchen with like sub-zero fridge, blending in with the cabinets. But we knew like still the kitchen needed a solid upgrade. So we were iffy on this one. However, Gino is great at interior design, and whenever we would tour a house, he was never fazed by like what it looked like. He was always thinking about the functionality of the space and what it could look like after he had transformed it. So this actually gave us a unique edge as buyers. We went ahead and placed an offer on this one. This time we did offer $20,000 above the asking price. Our offer was accepted, and we moved on to home inspection. So a home inspector comes out and basically looks at every aspect of the property structure, like the roofing, furnace, locks, windows, electrical, you name it. The seller disclosure is supposed to like list issues on the house, but just in case, you always want to go for a home inspection. I think with the way this market is, it got a lot of people waiving home inspection just to get ahead of the competition. But like prime example here, this home had a lot of issues. We were not willing to compromise on these issues, especially for a first time purchase. So we decided not to move forward. We did get our earnest money back because the offer was contingent on home inspection.
So we went through this period of finding a home that we like, putting in an offer and not getting accepted, but we didn't want to move forward and all of those things. And at the end of the day, our agent told us, and he was so kind, he was like, I promise you guys, I've been doing this for a very long time. You're gonna find the house that is right for you. You're gonna find the house that you really like. I don't want you guys to settle, because we're getting so exhausted of the market that we started to get to this point of like, I just want a house. Like, just give me a house. And he's like, you don't want to do that because, you know, that's a really big investment, and so you don't want to settle for something that you don't really like. And so we kind of took that and we kept our energies up, and then just, you know, obviously prayed, and we're very hopeful that it will all work out, and it did. We came down to 2 homes that were really like nice, that we liked. And the home that we got, which is where I'm sitting in right now, it almost was like it was like meant for us, and it's by far beyond my like wildest dreams of what our first home would be as homeowners. And so I'm thankful to God for that.
So this is not the house we ended up purchasing, but this was the last house we saw before deciding and putting an offer in on our home. I'll give you a home tour in the near future, but for now, enjoy, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.